Well, let's talk about it, Boulder.
Football
No.
question.
Why do you do this? Like, it would be hard for me to really engage in someone I don't like or something I don't like. I'm just asking why. Like, why?
It appears the Cleveland Browns media ain't too big on Shedeur Sanders, and it's a plethora of reasons, but the main reason, I have to give it to Colin Cowherd. He kind of pointed it out, is low self-esteem. We'll play that audio in a second, but the Cleveland media guys seem to not like the fans of Shedeur Sanders and the Sanders family now becoming, Browns fans to support him, which kind of reminds me of how they acted when Baker Mayfield got there and the Oklahoma Sooner fans all followed and, became fans of the Browns. But I digress on that. It's interesting how they're not very happy, but it sounds like someone reported from The Athletic, Zac Jackson reports Shedeur was killing it in minicamp. While also Tampa Bay media loving what they're getting out of Shiloh. And I got to show you all what he did, as you probably have seen, but I thought it was pretty cool to talk about. So we'll dive into all of that here on the Prime Time for College Football. Thank y'all for pulling up. I'm Jay. We're going to talk about some interesting stories today. I've been promised you all some stuff from minicamp, and we're going to dive into some of the stuff that I was able to compile. First and foremost, Cleveland media really is not fond of Shedeur and the fans that are following him. Like, here's a clip that I want y'all to hear, and y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments, and I'm going to give y'all my thoughts.
It's the new fans. What we call them, Shedeur soldiers?
Sanders soldiers.
Sanders soldiers. All in my mentions all day yesterday. And they were in my mentions because I had to take that, hey, look, Tony Grossi said he thought Dillon Gabriel was a little bit better. Y'all, chill out. You're making this combative when there's no need to be combative.
The fact that you're only here for Shedeur. Okay.
Trump the Browns.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In their mind of logic, we're going to, and I'm pretty sure this same group of people complain about things that don't go their way in other realms of life. You're no different than that person that you're probably in opposition to by taking those type of takes and that type of thought. It's sad. If it doesn't fit your narrative, you are the enemy. No room for civil discourse.
And I ain't been called an Oreo in years, too. Yeah, so that's crazy work.
So he's saying that you, Colorado fans, you fans of Shedeur Sanders, is making things combative. But if we're keeping it a buck, that's literally what Cleveland sports have always been. ESPN Cleveland has been beyond combative in this entire scenario in their complaints and yelling and hooping and hollering. But they don't fail to go out there and toss as many highlights of Shedeur on social media as possible. Kind of interesting, right? They aren't fond of Shedeur and they're not sure about him, but they're definitely going to promote him. Talk about him way more than talk about anybody else because it's clicks. That's why they do it. So they have to show them, act as if they're contrarian or they have an issue with it so they feel like they have a reason to talk about it. Instead of just promoting it like they probably should. Shedeur is going to be fun to watch there in Cleveland. So is Dillon Gabriel. We'll see who wins it out between them, Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. It to me still feels like because of this Deshaun Watson contract, they kind of need to go young or, cheap for now. And then if someone is out there winning, then they can just take it, and go from there. But these Cleveland guys had me cracking up. And so I was trying to figure out, why are they so upset? Colin Cowherd kind of explained it well. I'm going to play that video in a moment. But someone jumped on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, Zac Jackson from The Athletic. He went on there and he talked about Shedeur and what he saw there at the rookie minicamp. Now, remember, this is rookie minicamp. Rookies out there, throwing routes. You got to see some videos and stuff. And this is what Zac said.
It's a stupid question because, it's limited. But did one of the two look better to you in what they were asked to do than the other?
In just throwing the ball, it's not close. Shedeur Sanders.
It's not close
not
either.
Close. No.
Wow, that's okay. Now that's news.
That's news. But let me couch that by saying this is rookie minicamp.
Sure.
No pads, no full speed competition.
But
nobody coming to knock your head off.
It's telling. They're side by side, and they're not asked to do much. but they're both asked to do the same thing, and that one of them looked discernibly better than the other. I think that I didn't know that we would get that out of this mini.
We're standing here, Jay. They're on the field. They break the huddle from team stretch and team jog, and they go both pick up the ball and throw it. It's no question.
Wow, I think that's telling.
In just throwing the ball, it's not close. Shedeur Sanders, it's not close. And that's what he's saying in regards to who threw the ball, but who had a better mini camp, who was winning in the quarterback battle. When they're on the field, they break the huddle from the team stretch and team jog, and they both go pick up the ball and throw it. It's no question. So, sounds like Shedeur is impressing those in the media that are coming out and watching with his play. Not saying nothing. He went out there and said that he doesn't need to prove anybody else wrong. He needs to prove himself right, which is a very grown-up quote. Very grown-up. As you can see that his goal here is to be better for himself and prove himself right. So that means he's going to work his butt off. I expect it. He did. He was infamous for it at Colorado. Still see him doing it at Cleveland. But I just can't believe that the Cleveland media, quote-unquote, hates him. But again, Colin Cowherd explained why. And this makes a lot of sense.
The Browns is what I would call, the Buffalo Bills used to have this years ago, pre-Josh Allen. Low sports self-esteem. And years ago, Buffalo, Ryan Fitzpatrick in Buffalo got AFC Offensive Player of the Month. And in October, they signed him to a 6-year contract. Oh, my God, somebody likes us. So Jimmy Haslam, who's got some money, he drafted Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, and Deshaun Watson. Those were his calls. Headlines. So Shedeur Sanders at the Thursday, Friday, Saturday 3-day rookie minicamp, there's a lot of speculation. He wanted Shedeur Sanders. The staff drafted Dillon Gabriel, Oregon, 2 rounds earlier. And they were doing that not because they necessarily loved Dillon Gabriel. They liked him, but they thought it would stop their impulsive owner from forcing them to draft in round 4 Shedeur Sanders. So that's some of the speculation. I tend to believe it based on Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Browns' history. I don't think the Browns are going to be any good, but they're going to be interesting. And there's many elements of this team I love. I love the head coach. I love the GM. I love Myles Garrett. There's a lot of things about Cleveland I like. It's the upstairs thing. Look at this division. The better the owner, Cincinnati's is cheap. Steelers owner's Rooney's second poorest. Cleveland's is dysfunctional. Bisciotti's the richest, smartest, and winningest for 16 years.
Right. Low self-esteem. Ownership wanted the splash pickup, which they probably should have took advantage of it early. It would have been an even bigger splash, a lot more conversation. And it's funny that the appearance is that the coaching staff made their pick of Dillon Gabriel early to try to deter ownership for pushing to get Shedeur. Now, they got Shedeur, and there's a good chance that Shedeur's going to go out there be really good for them. I don't know. But we know that he looks good, and everybody likes him. Teammates, all of them are throwing up the celebration. All you see is a lot of players gravitating to him. And I think that that's kind of a big deal. You may have a locker room controversy there. I don't think it'd be one of those bad controversies. I think it'd be one of those situations where the players are backing him up. Can totally see that happening. Can Cleveland handle that? I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. Want to hear your thoughts. I cannot wait for OTAs this summer. We'll definitely dive all up in that. We'll have more details on how he performs. And it's funny, I haven't heard a lot about Travis Hunter, mainly because, ain't nobody got anything else to say. He's just that good, and we'll just see him dominate. But ready to see him at OTAs as well. And we'll talk more about the Dillon and Shedeur Sanders battle, which is going to be a fun battle, in my personal opinion. I think it'll be fun, and it'll be a good thing for Cleveland because they need some good luck and to improve their self-esteem. But from there, Shiloh was fun. I don't care what none of y'all say. Shilo Sanders is awesome. And the Tampa Bay media got to enjoy him as he did his first press conference. I know this was like a week ago, so a lot of you have probably seen this, but I want to talk about it because I wanted to commend him for not only handling the draft process well, didn't get drafted, undrafted free agent, signed a 3-year, $2-something million contract with Tampa, and He goes out there, he works his butt off, and then when he goes to his first media availability, he makes sure he shakes hands and meets everybody, which is really cool. At the same time, this is what they've always done. All the Sanders boys have been like this. They go in there and they shake hands. They speak to everybody, and everybody that's worked with them has all said, especially in the media, that they're all pleasant. Like, what are we doing here? What is the, why do we feel like they're not, that they're like, arrogant and all of that stuff? Like, why do we feel like they are just rude or mean when it's every single example has shown that they're cool people, super nice. Everyone loves them. That's kind of my point. Is I would appreciate the media going out there and just, be real with it. Point out all the stuff that you've seen for years. A lot of good stuff have come from each one of them. But I love Shiloh. I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Sorry, those there in Boulder and Denver Broncos fans. But I'm a Bucs fan, and I am so happy to have him out there in the secondary. He'll be fun in the Todd Bates system. Todd Bowles system. Todd Bowles. And they talked about how he has great footwork, as if, the son of Deion Sanders wouldn't have some really good footwork out there. So he's impressed a lot, and I expect him to make the roster as well. So let me know what y'all think about Shiloh, what y'all think about him shaking everybody's hands in the media. Isn't that dope, right? All right, we'll talk more roster stuff. Like I said, next week we'll start our series on the depth chart, look at the players, look at who's around, see what's next. Hopefully some commitments start coming down the line. Dropped a video about the negative recruiting that's going against Prime. Check that out. It's kind of wild that that's been happening, while at the same time it's a very common thing in college football. Negatively recruit against coaches when you want to get their players, especially if you know they're going to do good. So check that out. Hit the like, subscribe, bell notification so you don't miss any of the videos. And chop it up soon.